Hi, how y'all doing? It is November the 19th, 2025. It's Wednesday. Here in Ontario, Canada, the skies are blue with a bunch of weird clouds. Very faint, wispy ones at the moment. So, yeah, just about an hour ago it was cloud covered, and then they disappeared, and we got blue sky again. It was what, -7 when I woke up in the rise. Haven't seen any birds today. Haven't heard any birds today. I noticed the last 2 days in a row, when I seen the blue sky, it was two different colors of blue, right? Above was really dark blue, and then over in the horizon a little bit was a light blue. And I was like, how does that happen? Right? Unless there was a cloaked ship above us that made it the darker color. Just a thought, right? How'd y'all sleep? Good, I hope. I woke up at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock. But I went to bed. I went back to sleep quickly. Slept till 7. Um, Vivid dreams all night long. I was told some important stuff in my dreams too. I tried to remember it, but I guess my subconscious got it because it didn't come around to the front. But I knew in the dream it was important to remember. I was trying my best to remember, right? But it got taken from me. But only my consciousness is still in there, right? We had the emergency broadcast system warning today. It was just a test, right? Kind of goes hand in hand with there being a wide internet outage yesterday in the United States, right? We got the EBS today, so something's going on. My son was telling me was it yesterday or something? I don't know. I don't quote me on the date, but the head of the NDP here in Ontario, Canada, got kicked out of the Parliament in Ontario, all right, by the other parties because she brought Doug Ford corruption out into the public because they are the public, right? And they didn't like that, so they made her leave. Sounds like maybe the start of the government shutdown in Canada, like they did in the States. Wouldn't that be nice? I like it. I do. We don't need them. They're the corrupt ones. We need our real leaders, not these actors, shall we say. They're all actors. They're all from the same cult, you know? Well, the ones that they're playing was from the same cult. I went out today. I went to do some shopping. I went to the pot shop. I had to get a sativa and some gas. There's a gas station right there. And I went in. And on going in, I noticed that there's a sign somebody printed up about orange cat gone missing. All right. And it was some creepy man working at the counter, very lechy, right? And I was saying to him, because I just talk, right? And I was like, wow, another orange cat gone missing. I said, wow. I said, Food Basics all summer long, there's been posters of orange cats going missing. He was like, yeah. I said, yes, maybe it's the Chinese. And he looked at me funny. And I said, oh, I said, years ago, about 40 years ago, there was a restaurant here in this town, that got caught trapping cats and serving them up as sweet and sour chicken balls. And he smiled at me, and I was like, it was very traumatizing. You know what I mean? That's why I remember it. My girlfriend asked me if I wanted to go down to the city, uh, smaller city, right? And to a Chinese food restaurant. I said, well, we should case the joint first to make sure there's no traps or anything around it out back. And they're not serving cat. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah. There was a restaurant here in town that got caught serving cat. They got shut down, right? It was Asian people, Chinese. So I'm not being racist. I'm just saying facts, right? I don't care who you are, where you're from. But when you're in our country, you don't eat cats and dogs. It's not. We don't do that. We love those creatures, right? Maybe in your country it's okay, but not in ours. Follow the rules. It's not that hard, right? So yeah, he looked at me weird. Then he looked me up and down. He was like, "Have a good day." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I left. Right? You know what I mean? I could tell he was lechy. It was the kind of look that I've received from men before. Not a good one. So yeah, different, right? So we have an influx of orange cats going missing. I wonder who's messing with the orange felines. Usually it's the cult and the witches that take the black cats. They go missing, right? Because they use them in their rituals for their sacrifices and shit. But orange? Orange is color of creativity. Strange. Whoever's doing it, I call justice upon them, harming the creatures. Just how I feel. Um, that's all I wrote down. Schuman today is at 14, so down from the 26 it was yesterday, right? I'm still feeling high vibe. My ears are ringing still when I got up in the rise, ringing very loudly. I got pressure in my head, my tailbone, my butt bones, middle of my spine. It's just normal stuff, right? For me, anyway. I gotta lose some weight. I'm getting too chubby, right? I'm not really chubby, but for me, I am. You know, so I could tell my face gets fat. But yeah, oh well. I guess that's vanity. Not really. I just like to be at a comfortable weight. So yeah, neighborhood's pretty quiet. Seen a couple people that walk in their canines. Other than that, my son, he was in a good mood when he came back. Right? He's gone with his girlfriend to a dog training session. She has what the heck? I can't remember what it is now. It's a lab of some sort. Brown lab. Right? That's very high strung. She's about a year old. Maybe two by now. I don't know, but she's super high strung. This is the second dog trainer they've taken her to, right? To learn how to cope with her. I never had to go to a dog trainer in my life. I was always, my creatures always were good with me, right? But I treated them like I did my children and raised them with love. And a strictness at the same time, right? Structure. That's what was structure. You can't just let them run around and do what they want all the time. You have to give them structure. There's a certain time for that, you know? So, yeah. All right. I was sitting here, was it yesterday, the day before, and that white light came from nowhere again by my window, like through the ceiling, straight down, like that. And I was like, I seen it again. I wonder what that is, right? Strange. I had to go buy a new remote. Well, I asked my friend to do a delivery for me. If she'd go and get one for me, and she said yes. Because my remote, I realized, was dying very quickly, right? So I got a replacement one, and it works better. I'm happy about that. Everybody at the grocery store was okay. Nobody strange or acting weird, right? Everybody just going about their business. So that's a very calm feeling today again. My ears are ringing though. Oh well, the pineal gland is decalcifying. All right. I hope you're still doing your shadow work, being good people, causing no harm and telling no lies, and forgiving yourself for everything and everybody, right? Everybody's been under a program, so why wouldn't you? No matter what they've done, right? Or no matter what you've done, we've all been programmed. So yeah. I also heard something today that was different too. that in order to break free of the matrix, you have to have your divine love match, aka soulmate. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do, right? I don't know how that's ever supposed to happen. Unless it happens after the flip. I don't know. I really don't know, folks. Like I was saying, don't worry about nothing, too, when everything shuts down. Because they've got enough government food storage and storage that can feed us for a year easy. Every continent, country, as part of their, as part of what they have to do, right? Usually it's for the military. But they have storehouses upon storehouses of the stuff, right? And it will be handed out, need be. You know, the military will do it. A fraction of them. I'm not sure what they'll be called because there's so many different offices, right? But yeah, everything will work out. It's all groovy. It really is. Don't listen to no gloom and doom. I've seen the headline at the grocery store on one of the newspaper or the newspapers magazines, right? And it was a picture of Trump and fire all around him, and it was about nuclear war. Oh my, right? And I was like, oh, so they're trying to ramp that up, put it in the collective consciousness. I suppose that'll be the next big thing, right? You know what I mean? Maybe that's part of the flip. We'll have to wait and see, right? All right. All right. That's enough. Every day I'm stronger than the day before. Every day our soulmates are closer to us than the day before. Our divine love matches, if that's what you need in your life, are closer to us than the day before. And every day I have more gratitude than the day before. Love y'all's consciousness. Enjoy this later day. Okay? Okay. Bye. Wave me away. Goodbye. Bye.